Hello! We're going to go over some animal facts that aren't safe, which means I'm sorry if I ruin your favorite animal today. I don't mean it. Anyways, also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscription button for more videos like this. Okay, let's begin.
All facts, but I slowly destroy your innocence for 60 seconds. They eat nothing but
Oh
eucalyptus, but if you took it
no.
off the tree and put it on a plate in front of them, they would stare at it and starve to death because koalas are not good at koaling. The only way they can eat this is by gaining a special gut bacteria, which they get by eating their
The fact that koalas are
mother's
funny.
backdoor fudge. Every koala has done this. Koalas can be vicious psychopaths. Some people broke into a zoo to steal a koala and left with a crocodile because that was easier than handling a pissed off Bundy bear. Koalas have fingerprints identical to humans,
How?
meaning they can contaminate crime scenes with 7
How is a crocodile easier than handling a koala? Like, I know koalas can get pissed off, but would a crocodile not get pissed off either? Unless it's like a
billion people on
baby,
Earth, at
maybe,
least one
or a
is in jail for something
juvenile.
the koala did. They don't hug people, they're using your body to cool off because this genius thinks you're a tree. Most koalas have incontinence, meaning they pee themselves uncontrollably. Which leads right into the next fact because as you probably already know, 90% of koalas are infected with chlamydia. But you probably didn't know that 10% contain a strain that can be passed on to humans. Or should I say pissed on to humans. Males don't recognize the sign that a
That's
female is in heat,
crazy.
so he'll just rape first and ask questions never in a process that can knock the female out the tree. Because the sound of this attracts more sexually frustrated males, the female gets run through like a track meet. She gets choo-chooed against her will.
Oh my
Pandas for 60 seconds straight. They're bad at
Alright,
literally everything.
pandas.
They're bad at sex. Zookeepers had to play
You
videos
know
from
what?
Panhub just to give
Pandas are so freaking funny. Every single clip I see of a panda on the internet, it's a panda like rolling down the hill. I know, like, if you guys see the panda clips on the internet, you probably know what I'm like relating to. But I see so many of them and they're so freaking
these
funny.
bears an idea of how the parts work. They're bad at making more of themselves because female pandas can only get pregnant 2 days a year. They're bad at staying alive.
Wait, only 2 days a year? What?
Baby pandas only have a 40% chance of living to their next birthday, and most of the time they die in the first week, and sometimes the mother sits on them and acts
No! You're not ruining. You're making this sad. You're making this sad facts about my favorite animals. The
and
heck?
takes them out. They're bad at being parents because if a female has twins, she'll take Zach and abandon Cody. They're bad at pandaing because even though they're literally designed to
just
eat meat,
realized
they eat
Zach
nothing
and
but bamboo,
Cody.
since they get so little energy out of it, they have to eat 40 pounds of it a day. Their only real talent is
40
being cute, and
pounds
if
is
they weren't, we would be
crazy.
spending millions of dollars protecting an animal that nature clearly doesn't have a plan for. And they're not even great at the whole cute thing either. Pandas may be bad at bearing, but they're still bears. One man was trying to teach a panda how to survive in the wild, and to encourage him, he dressed up in a panda suit. The ungrateful fur Oreo proceeded to bite off half his hand.
Yeah, I feel like they might not be, you know, the smartest animals, but I feel like they're still going to be threatened as someone in a bear costume thinking it's another panda. Or if it's a human, I think it's a different interaction. Not always the same. A panda can be, you know, offensive towards a human, but I think higher chance if the human is in a panda costume than if a human is by
Also, male
itself.
pandas will delete any babies they see, even if they end up being his. The only W's
But-
pandas take are in Disney movies. There is no
Are
bigger
pandas thriving in the wild and not captivity? Can anyone confirm this for me in the chat? In the like comments chat? Are they thriving in the wild?
disappointment than a bear that identifies as an overweight equality gerbil. They're baby-faced abominations that just
gerbil.
get clapped by life. Zebra facts, but you're going to hate them by the end of
Oh
this video.
no.
Zebras are actually black with white stripes, and they help keep disease-causing flies from landing on them. Hey, real quick, Google what animal causes the most zookeeper injuries and get back to me.
Look at that face.
Zebras put more people on workers' comp than any other animal because they're not horses, they're angry Afro donkeys. The whole reason we never tried riding them is because they would literally kick the life points out of any Doolittle that tried. Zebras are strong enough to do this to lions. In Madagascar, since Alex had no hunting experience, Marty would have Mufasa'd him if he tried.
That makes sense,
A zebra
so
choosing
that's
violence
their...
can either shatter a lion's jaw or crack
Sorry, I don't want to talk over him, but that's his defensive mechanism, right? So that makes sense of why they just want to kick
skull
everything.
in half depending on where it lands the kick. When a male zebra sees a pregnant female, he'll do things to her that would make him roommates with Cosby and Epstein. Well, I guess
Also,
just
my
Cosby
voice
now.
is, like,
He'll literally
cracking.
violate her until he either forces her to miscarry or her body reabsorbs the fetus.
It's,
and that's if she's pregnant.
I apologize for my voice. It's the morning and I haven't had coffee yet, and I sound bad, so I'm sorry.
Now, if she already has a baby, the striped abortion clinic with legs will personally erase, and his favorite method is by drowning it. And he'll do it while the mother desperately tries to save her child. So the next time you see this Oreo horse getting clapped by a lion, just know this homicidal barcode probably had it coming. Facts, but they get a lot less cute the longer we go. First, wet sloth.
Alright, you know what? My perception about zebras has changed. With the panda bears and koalas, I already knew those facts. Zebras, I did not know any of those facts. My perception has now changed.
That's the end of the sentence. They can swim 3 times faster than they can
That's
walk,
the
and
end
they
of
can
the
hold their breath longer than
sentence.
dolphins, which sounds cool. But if you ever saw something like this in person, you wouldn't be okay mentally for a long time. Every time you eat an
That's wild that they can hold their breath longer than a dolphin, though.
Avocado,
That's
you're
kind
probably
of
eating
wild.
descendants of deceased a giant ground
I wonder
sloth
what
ate
kind
and
of
pooped out.
dolphins
They're one
search
of
all
the few animals big
dolphins.
enough to swallow the fruit and spread the seeds, so you can thank its prehistoric anus for guacamole. They only poop once a week, and when they do, they weigh about a
Guacamole.
third of their body weight, which would be like the average man dropping a 60-pound deuce. Since this takes so long, most sloths get their life
Wow.
subscription canceled on the toilet like Elvis. They basically play Russian roulette every time they leave the tree to drop the kids off. And speaking of dropping kids, they give birth in the trees,
I
and
was like,
sometimes
don't
the
they
baby
literally like drop their kids off trees by accident?
fall straight to the ground. Sometimes the mother will
Yeah.
decide it's not worth the effort and will leave the baby to die. Just call it a baby shower.
No
Also,
wonder I don't know, you guys probably see this too if you're watching Casual Geographic, where like a lot of people end up fostering like baby sloths because that's what happened. They found them with no mother and the mother just left them. I don't know if you guys watch it, but like if you have, you've probably seen
sloths
those
don't mistake their
videos
own
too.
arms for branches and then fall to their death. That's a myth. What isn't a myth is that sloth grip is so strong they can remain hanging from a tree even while they're dead. If you see an upside down sloth in a tree, there's no guarantee he's alive. Sloths have been known to break into human toilets and
Wow.
eat whatever forbidden fudge they can find. Because you don't have to be Odell to play for the Browns. You're gonna regret that comment, quokka facts, but they somehow get more and more disturbing. They live on
Quokka.
Rat's Nest Island, named
Oh,
after Rat's Nest because the
no.
first people to see them thought they were rats on steroids. But they're marsupials related to kangaroos and koalas. They're cute, but they have plant-crushing teeth,
He's
and they won't
he's going to ruin quokkas for me. It's
hesitate
so
to use these little hole
over.
punchers on you if you get too close. People forget that these are wild animals and not plush toys, and they get bit as a result. That kid got
Well-
checked right in the forehead. Mother quokkas have insurance policies
I
on
feel
their
like that goes with any wild animal, though. A lot of people forget that they were or once were wild animals, and you always gotta be like cautious around animals, wild animals. Even that can even go with like domesticated animals like cows and horses and stuff. You still gotta be careful about them.
children because she has an egg called a blastocyte that'll start developing if her first kid gets
Mother
third-party aborted.
quokkas-
That
they
would
have
be like your own
backup
mother
chi-
having a
oh.
replacement clone ready in case you get put on a shirt. Because her child is replaceable when chased by a predator, Mother of the Year will sacrifice her baby. She doesn't eat her own child to its death the way memes seem to think she
She'll
does, but she does
sacrifice
loosen
her
the
own
muscles on her
baby?
pouch so her baby falls out. On purpose, by the way. But the really messed
Oh.
up reason this works is
Oh
because
my
the baby
gosh.
hisses and screams when it hits the ground, getting the predator's attention. So the mother gets away while her baby gets taken off the census. Since quokkas have huge cycles of births and
What
deaths, if you go to
the
Rottnest
heck?
Island at the wrong time, you'll see more quokka skulls than your mental health will be able to handle. Stop telling me to ruin animals, I'm gonna keep doing it. Giraffe facts, but they slowly get more and more
Oh
disturbing.
my god.
Because giraffes are usually the tallest thing on a dry open savanna, it's not uncommon for them to get clapped by lightning, and when this
What? Oh my gosh. Poor giraffes out here getting deleted by lightning.
happens, their heart basically beats itself to death. They have hooves the size of dinner plates, and they've been seen on record decapitating lions with one kick. Which is why baby
They have
giraffes will hide under their
hooves
mothers when
the
predators
size of
attack.
dinner
He may be safe
plates.
from lions, but sometimes a mother friendly fires him with a kick that shatters his neck. Baby giraffes are just as likely to get accidentally killed by their mothers as they are lions.
Oh my
Males flirt by slamming their
gosh.
heads into the side of the female until she forcefully pees. They'll taste test her pee to see if she's ovulating to decide whether to apply pressure.
What a
90% of
what a flirting technique by giraffes. High tier right there. Holy
giraffe sex is
moly.
between two males, and nothing's wrong with that. You know, love who you love. But most of the time, it's an older giraffe asserting his authority on a younger, weaker male. This isn't an act of love. He's basically getting Shawshanked by a long-necked Sandusky. Giraffes are extremely vulnerable to parasites, and when one gets sick, he'll get abandoned by his herd, who basically leaves him to die. Sounds harsh, but if you saw what a sick giraffe looks like, you'd understand. Which is why if Madagascar were real, Melman
Oh
would have
my
suffered a slow,
gosh.
painful, parasitic-induced death. You're not gonna believe how big these animals really are. This is how big people think snapping turtles get. This is how big they actually get. If my eyes have to be assaulted
they're
with this image, you
massive.
better believe I'm gonna make it your problem
Even-
too.
Even the first, I don't. That might be. I saw a species of snapping turtle that big. I'm like, even the first snapping turtle, like the smaller one, is still pretty freaking massive for a turtle.
Here's a friendly reminder that your little house cat is related to an 11-foot, 700-pound
Yes,
biracial
it is.
Garfield. This cat can stand up and make eye contact with a basketball rim that most of the population can't jump high enough to touch. Don't let the baby bottle fool you. That man is a mood swing away from becoming a human scratching post. I feel like people forgot just how ridiculous blue
Think
whales
so.
are, so
Oh
here's a
my
reminder that this picture
gosh.
actually exists. Female blue whales are actually bigger than the males, and the biggest grow to 100 feet long. Meaning this blue whale is longer than a standard
She's
NBA court. This
massive.
picture's actually wildly out of pocket the longer I look at it. I'm not even going to sit here and demonize orangutans. They're intelligent and peaceful, and they rarely choose violence, but violence is on the table. Life has multiple choice, and if this ginger Bigfoot circles C, it's going to be bad for her. Elephant seals are big. They can weigh 9,000 pounds, and I was
I-
going to
Holy. I knew they were big, but in comparison to a human standing next to an elephant seal, I didn't realize they were like that big, you
say
know?
this man has balls, but this isn't balls. This is a lack of brain
That's
function. He's one
crazy.
body slam away from becoming a chalk outline. This is actually one of my favorite series. It's called Animals That Are Way Bigger Than Your School Taught You. Yeah, that's a goddamn turtle. The leatherback can go
yeah,
to
they're
7 feet long and weigh
massive.
1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to turtles, you have the pets you can hold in your hand and you have refrigerators with flippers. Oh, and this is what their mouth looks like. The Andean condor is one of the biggest bastards with wings with a 10.5-foot wingspan. This guy has a 7'3" wingspan and his arms are longer than a Monday. Luckily, they only eat already dead
Look
animals, so
at
they're perfectly
him.
harmless. But nobody ever told him that.
Holy.
Also, this dinosaur
Holy.
can live for 70 years. That is what a gorilla's
70
hand looks like
years.
compared to a human's. And we should all take a moment to be grateful that gorillas rarely choose violence because those mitts could easily slapbox their soul into
That's
a factory
crazy.
reset. You probably forgot how much of a unit Appa really was. At 9 feet,
Appa is a
2,200
unit.
pounds, the American bison is literally the biggest threat to American idiots everywhere. Not only is it a truck,
But I don't know if anyone else would agree with me. I think the bison is such a beautiful animal. I don't know if anyone agrees with me there. I think they're just like majestic.
with legs that can charge at 40 miles per hour. As you can see from this picture, actions have consequences. Meet Patrick, the largest wombat to ever wombat. This furry tank can cripple cars. They use their thick to crush predators that get too close. Only in Australia could a plush toy take on a Honda and win.
Oh, speaking of Patrick the Wombat, I'm pretty sure it was today or it was yesterday. It was National Wombat Day over there in Australia and the world. I don't know. But they were celebrating wombats. Fun fact.
Some animals that have no business being that big. There is no ethical reason
my
for this
gosh.
picture to exist. Like, I know what this is, I just don't know why. The Japanese spider crab can have a leg length of 12 feet, can weigh 44 pounds, and can live for 100 years because even death procrastinates dealing with this thing. Next, we have the giant freshwater
I think a
stingray.
lot
I
of
really-
crustaceans live for a long time, right? No, like a lot of shellfish, like lobster and crab and stuff, don't they have a long lifespan? Or am I thinking of something else? I could be thinking of something else, but I think a lot of them do have
appreciate giant being
like
the
long
same, as if I could
lifespans.
possibly think something like this is average. Now, I have personally forgiven stingrays from what they've taken away from me, but
Look
I'm
at
not
the
at peace with a
stingray.
16-foot, 1,300-pound placemat with a tail. They're found in Southeast Asia, Borneo,
Oh
and the
my
dunes of the unwell. Not to be
gosh.
confused with the giant oceanic manta ray. At 23 feet, 6,000 pounds, the manta ray is 100% perfectly
Manta ray
harmless.
is beautiful.
Except to your mental health. Because every time this underwater UFO pulls up
Look
on somebody, a
at
therapist
it.
goes up a tax bracket. Now we have the wolf eel. Why? At 8 feet long, it's proof that there's no rules in
Look
the
at the
ocean. If God wants
mouth of
Godzilla in the form of a
that.
tadpole, then damn it, that's just what's gonna happen. Also, they mate for life, so if you're still single, just know that this thing is somehow doing better than you.
Holy
Blue whales
mo-
are
that
fundamentally
mouth
disrespectful,
though.
but there's only one way for you to understand just what we're up against here. You know exactly what that is. 5 animals that used to be way worse.
You know
At number
exactly
5,
what
we have
that is.
penguins. There
Oh
used to be
no.
a species of mega penguin that was tall enough to look a 6-foot man in the eyes. In fact, the biggest one grew to 6'8" and weighed 250 pounds. The whole penguin built like LeBron, I promise you, you'd want
A
no problems.
6-foot
Number 4,
penguin?
orangutans, because they're the closest living relative of Gigantopithecus. 10-foot, 600-pound steroid Donkey Kong. They're probably
What?
vegetarian, so you wouldn't have to worry about them eating you. Doesn't mean they couldn't practice origami with your skeleton if you gave them a reason. Orangutans are cool, but a ginger Bigfoot is not it. Number 3 are rhinos for 2 reasons. Satanic unicorn nonsense right here. And
Oh
this.
my gosh.
Paraceratherium was a hornless rhino that grew to 30 feet, 44,000 pounds, and that's what you'd look like next to him. All of a sudden, this
It's
picture
like a
makes sense.
hybrid of a
Just
bunch of
elephants evening the
animals.
score after centuries of abuse. Speaking of elephants, I'll never understand how this acid trip left the drafts. This is Platybelodon. It looks like an elephant fucking platypus and a power tool. And this is
It
what
looks
came out. To
horrible.
mention this used to exist.
It looks
Number 1
horrible.
is a Seriema because they used to be terror birds. 10
What
feet,
the heck?
300 pounds with a murder weapon for a nose, they would have been the biggest op to mankind. We would
Holy moly. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Shout out to Casual Geographic for the content. If you guys want more, comment down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you on the flip side. Goodbye.